According to Deborah Auerbach of CareerBuilder.com, job seekers do not follow up with employers because they do not want to annoy hiring managers. However, Ms. Auerbach states that failing to follow up after an interview can actually do more damage than good. During this session, we will discuss the importance of helping our job seekers reconnect with employers after the interview. Our goal is to help job seekers turn job interviews into job offers. Did you know that less than half of the people who are interviewed send a thank you note to the interviewing company? Sending a thank you note after a job interview is very important. It shows the candidate has manners and often gives the interviewing candidate an edge. Why?
Imagine interviewing 10 people for a unit clerk position. At first, you remember the first person that interviewed because her answers were strong, but then you interview 3 more people. While you remember what they look like, you start to get their answers jumbled up. You get confused regarding small details. After 5 people, you begin to forget what each person looked like. Although you took good notes, you realize that you easily get individuals confused because 10 people might as well be 100.
Then you receive a thank you letter from Annie. Her name, resume, and face pop back into your head. While you may still be objectively reviewing each person's answers and qualifications, there is no doubt that her information stands out. This is why we need to teach our job seekers to follow up after the interview. The first thing that job seekers should do after the interview is write down notes about the interview to keep the details fresh. These notes are written down on the index cards associated with the position, which was discussed in Getting Organized. If the job seeker uses a spreadsheet on the computer to track his or her job search efforts, the job seeker should jot down notes in his or her spreadsheet. There could always be a second interview, and those notes could help job seekers prepare for a second interview. Next, job seekers should write a thank you note to the interviewer. This should also occur immediately after the interview. Thank you notes should be mailed within 2 business days of the interview.
Thank you notes should be brief. They are not cover letters, but opportunities to demonstrate both respect for the interviewer and interest in the job. Job seekers should keep thank you notes short and simple by thanking interviewers for an opportunity to interview.
Whether thank you notes are handwritten on a card or typed like a formal letter, job seekers must ensure there are no grammatical errors. Job seekers should address the interviewer formally. For example, if the interviewing party was named John Smith, the note should be addressed to Mr. Smith, not John. Some additional tips for sending a thank you letter include using quality paper and envelopes, as well as ensuring that any handwritten sentiments are easy to read and well written. Additionally, the letter should include information that addresses what the interview was looking for. This is where jotting down notes after the interview really pays off. The job seeker is able to review the information and ensure that he or she can respond to the needs of the employer in a concise manner.
Frequently, individuals want to know if they can send their thank you letters by email instead of traditional mail. More and more, employers are looking for thank you letters by email. In fact, 50% of hiring professionals stated that they prefer thank you letters to be received by email in a 2009 Society for Human Resource Management survey. However, this means that 50% of hiring managers surveyed preferred formal sentiments be received via traditional mail.
How does the job seeker know who to mail the letter to? When the job seeker goes to an interview, the job seeker can simply request the business card of the interviewer. This should be attached to the index card associated with the job opening so the job seeker can track who he or she spoke to during the interview, as well as the interviewer's mail and business address. If the job seeker is using spreadsheet to organize his or her job search, the contact information of the interviewer should be recorded on the spreadsheet or other job search organizer. In addition to sending a thank you letter, the job seeker should call the employer to find out if the position has been filled. When should this occur? The follow-up phone call should occur 1 to 2 weeks after the interview. The job seeker must be prepared to call the employer and be comfortable with what he or she will say. Otherwise, the job seeker may avoid following up as a result of being nervous. Let's review what we've learned during this lesson. What percentage of individuals seeking work send a thank you note to follow up with the employer after the interview? Select the best answer out of the options provided.
Why is it important for job seekers who attend interviews to follow up with employers after an interview? Select the best answer.
Right after the interview, the job seeker should be taught to do what? Select the most appropriate answer.
When should the thank you letter be mailed? Please select the best answer.
In this lesson, we reviewed the importance of following up after an interview. We looked at an example thank you letter along with each of its components. We also discussed the importance of calling the employer after the interview to follow up. This concludes this lesson and the Job Search Skills module. Click the Finish button to receive credit for finishing the training.